Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this video is a follow-up to a video I did last week on keto pancakes. In this video, I will be answering some of the most common questions I got, as well as trying out some of your suggestions. Now, I'm not going to completely redo the recipe for the sake of this video. If you want, the link to the recipe is down below in the description, and I'll also link to the video right up here. One of the first questions that I got is, can you freeze these pancakes and then reheat them? The answer to that is yes, you absolutely can. I wound up creating an awful lot of pancakes as I was trying to hone this recipe, so there's a fair number of them in my freezer. I've reheated them both in a toaster and in the microwave. Now, toaster settings can vary, so I can't really advise you on that. Some have got a defrost function, mine does, but they came out fine out of a toaster. I've also microwaved them, and in a 900-watt microwave, like the one I've got behind me, it took about 90 seconds to get 2 pancakes thawed and cooked. So if you have a stronger microwave, maybe start off at just 1 minute and see if they're hot enough for you. If you have a weaker microwave, probably start at that 90-second mark and then adjust the temp accordingly. Now, I did get some comments from viewers who felt that this pancake recipe is a little more complicated than something they want to make. And yeah, it does have a fair amount of ingredients. The most time-consuming part of this recipe is the dry ingredients. So why not make them in bulk? I have set up the recipe on my website so that you can scale it, so you can adjust servings and determine how much of any ingredient you need if you want to do a double batch or a triple batch. A couple things to note is, first off, it doesn't seem to round real well when it's adjusting. That's problem number one. But it'll be pretty obvious. It'll say something like 2.97 cups of almond flour. Just know that that means 3. Also, the recipe plugin that I use on my website doesn't allow yet for a toggle between metric to standard. So I would always put the metric amounts in parentheses after an ingredient. Well, that doesn't scale when you hit the scalability button. So you'll just need to multiply that out. Sorry. And lastly, the website, when you adjust servings, doesn't upconvert. For example, if there's an ingredient that we use a tablespoon of, and there's a lot of ingredients we use a tablespoon of, and you're making a quadruple batch, it doesn't convert 4 tablespoons to 1/4 cup. So it's a little bit wonky, but it works. Now, just for your reference, and I'll put this information down in the description below, when you're making in bulk, a full batch of the recipe equals 1 3/4 cups or 166 grams of dry mix. And that yields about 6 or 7 pancakes. We're going to find out in a few minutes what it yields in waffles. If, say, you only wanted to do a half batch, you could just cut that number in half. For grams, that would be 83 grams. For cups, that would be 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon. For making the dry mix in bulk, I decided that the magic number for me was going to be a quadruple batch. And when you get into dry ingredients at that sort of a quantity, it's kind of hard to just whisk it together and expect that everything is going to wind up blending nicely. Because you don't want to go and throw this in a container and have it not thoroughly mixed, because then you're going to wind up with bad pancakes. I tried mixing it in a food processor. That didn't work real well. A lot of the ingredients just sort of started creeping up the sides of the bowl. So what we are going to do is we are going to sift our ingredients. We're going to do it twice, and we're going to do it while whisking. After adding all of your dry ingredients to a large mixing bowl, I like to give it a little bit of a mix with a whisk, just to kind of start off the process. Next, I take a second large bowl, and I've got this colander/strainer here. Pour my dry ingredients in. And then, rather than just shaking this vigorously to sift, I'm going to use my whisk. So I'm getting both a sift and a mix going on at the same time. Now, if there's a little left in the colander, that's fine, because we're going to sift it one more time. Back to our original bowl, colander, dump, and whisk. There we go. And I did make a little bit of a mess right here, which is why I have a bench scraper. Love this tool. There we go. got my flour. Then I transfer my dry mix into one of these OXO containers. This one right here is a 2-liter, and it's a little bit more than half full. For the next part of this video, I am going to answer 2 questions with 1 experiment. Question number 1, can this be made in a Dash Mini to create a waffle? Question number 2, is there any way to make this kind of like a McGriddle? For this experiment, I'll be doing just a half batch. So 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of avocado oil, 2 tablespoons of full-fat sour cream, 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of almond milk. And since we're shooting for a McGriddle sort of flavor on this, instead of using vanilla extract, I'm going to use maple extract. 3/4 teaspoon. Whisk together. And then we'll add our dry ingredients. A level 1/2 cup plus a level tablespoon. If you're doing it by weight, that would be 83 grams. Whisk together. Then we'll let this sit for about 10 minutes to let it thoroughly hydrate. And in the meanwhile, we will preheat our Dash Minis. Also for this experiment, I will be using both the Dash Griddle and the Dash Mini Waffle Maker, just to see what happens. We are just shy of 4 minutes, and they have quit steaming. Our griddle pancake definitely looks very pancakey. Well, not this side, but this side. And here's our waffle. All right, let's try them out. First, the pancake. Texture on it, very light, very pancakey. Pretty much what I'd expect. It's not as good as the ones I made on the griddle. I'm not getting nearly the flavor from the maple extract that I got from the vanilla extract. And it also just seems a little bit undercooked. And that's really kind of one of the issues, in my opinion, with the Dash Mini Griddle, is that unless you have something that has a lot of rise to it, the tops rarely get cooked enough, in my opinion. Next we have the waffle. I'm also gonna say no on this. It's just a little too cake-like for me. I kind of like my waffles to have a little bit more of a crispness on the exterior, and these are definitely very soft. They remind me a lot of when you do a sweet chaffle with cream cheese and egg. Just not real solid. Yeah, way too cakey. So what did we learn here? We learned that yes, you absolutely can make this mix in bulk. It's going to take you a few minutes extra that first batch, but it's going to save you a ton of time on each subsequent batch. We learned that if you're going to try and make a McGriddle bun out of this, maybe it's best just to stick with my old recipe, which I will link to at the end card. And we learned that these don't make really fantastic waffles. Just a little too cakey for me. But if you do like a real cakey sort of a waffle, you can totally do these in a Dash Mini. I would recommend the Dash Mini Waffle Maker as opposed to the griddle. And you're going to get a yield of 4 waffles. As for me, I'll probably keep doing full-size batches on full-size griddles because my family, they're kind of bought in on these keto pancakes. I'll summarize the important information down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified whenever I release a new video, you can hit that bell and turn on all notifications, but it seems like notifications on YouTube have been a little bit sketchy lately. And lastly, if you're interested in helping out the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click that join button down there and see what membership options are all about. Thanks for watching.